Onegaishimasu. All right, so hope everybody's doing well. This is some tough techniques this week, weren't they? Yeah, and if you're following the lesson plan, you should be you should be pretty aggravated with me. I hope, because I'm asking a lot of you, and that's kind of too bad. You signed up for it. There's a lot of techniques there, isn't there? And there's a lot to remember, and there's a lot of fine details in them. For example, the movement and the body position with Tatsu Otoshi. I think anybody, I think anybody can do this. Right? Anybody can do that. It's simple. It's tongue twirling. But understanding, like, as I always say, like understanding the tactics and the purpose for doing that is a whole different thing. So I'd like to kind of like to explore that a little bit. In my notes, in my corrections, Melissa and Ricardo, you're both pretty good and you're pretty skilled at this. I'd like you guys to start doing these demonstrations of the technique together. I think that'll help everybody to be able to see it also. I think that would be a good thing. So let's get started with a warm-up, and then I'm going to go into some questions. I'd like to start off with Tatsu Otoshi, and then we'll carry on from there. Okay, let's get started. Seigan no Kamae. We'll begin with a basic sequence of strikes. Tento Menuchi. Each. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Okay, great. We're going to start over again. This is one of the things I noticed in people in your posts is when you're doing your kata, this was happening. Let's just say my kata right now is Tento Menuchi no kata. Okay? Now, what exactly is wrong with this Tento Menuchi kata? Anybody?
Mummy stepping?
Bouncing?
No? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. That was a good safe answer, because I'm always, when I'm doing something wrong, I'm always going to do that. So, anybody else? Let me slow it down. Watch again. Okay, so now I'm not going to mummy step, so Jim doesn't call me on that again. Well, what's wrong with this?
Your head and your, I guess, attention is going all over the place, and the arms.
A little bit. So, here, not to waste any more time. Versus this. Everybody, like not everybody, I shouldn't say that, but a lot of people you'll watch do the techniques, they're bouncing. They're just boing, boing. It's just kind of like that. Just sort of just going through the motion and not doing an actual strike. So when we're doing this warm-up, try to see if you're doing that. Try to feel that. Okay, let's begin. Right? Each. Ni, san, shi, go, ro, shich, hach, ku, chu, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ro, shich, hach, ku, chu. Okay, now Yoko Menuchi. Yoko Menuchi. Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Roku. Shich. Hach, Ku, Ju, Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go, Ro, Shich, Hach, Ku, Ju, Do, Uchi, Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go, Ro, Shich, Hach, Ku, Ju, Ashibarai, Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go, Ro, Shich, Touch, Ku, Ju, 10 more, Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go. Sorry guys, lost connection. Okay, Hanayage. Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go, Ro, Shich, Hach, Ku, Ju, Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go, Ro, Shich, Hach, Ku, Ju, Ski, Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go, Ro, Shich, Hach, Ku, Ju, Switch, Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go, Ro, Shich, Hach, Ku, Ju. Good. Next is Joranuke, version 1, advancing forward. Let me just make sure to see if anybody's come into class. Oh, okay. All right, ready? Left foot advancing forward first. Ich. Now right. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Ro. Shi. Shi. Ha. Chi. Ku. Ju. Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Ro. Shich. Hach. Ku. Ju. Now stepping back. Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Roku. Chi. Hachi. Ku. Ju. Ich. Ni, san, shi, go, ro, shi, hach, ku, ju. Excellent. Does anybody have any questions on these keyhole? Just a warm up. No?
Sensei, one quick question about Jodan Uke in the front hand. Does it move up at all, or does it still stay about at that sort of 1/3 ratio?
No, not the way Manaka Sensei taught it to me. I know I've seen this where this hand just turns like that. I think that's probably, yeah, I don't know. It's just, the way that Sensei taught me it was like this. And a real aha moment for me was doing work with Tony Blauer and seeing the like the spear method that's taught to many law enforcement. Very common, very effective reality-based martial arts system. If you're not familiar with spear, you should look it up. It's great. But it's Jodan Uke, the way that it's coming in triangulation like this. And you're doing the same thing where with this technique, it isn't so much like this movement with the arms as it is this movement with the arms. You see? Even when I'm going back, it's not this. I'm exaggerating here. But you can see this big circular upward motion where the energy's pulling back versus even with my body going back, my arms are pushing forward. Arms are doing the same, whether my legs are going forward and back, but what they're not doing is energy going back. This is wrong, Paul. Versus, it's a good question because it's a commonly misunderstood thing about this technique. And if you have someone who has intent in cutting at you with a sword, who doesn't care about your feelings or how you show on video, they're going to smoke you and they're going to cut right through. And what I mean by that is this backward energy of the bow going up like this is going to get capitalized on with a downward sword. With the sword comes, I think about it. My bow is coming up and around like this. As Ricardo comes at me with his bow Ken and connects with my bow, with that backward, with that momentum going back, it's going to collapse and the sword comes right in. This is why it's important that it's this. And you can see the arm is up over the head, but it is not. This is very wrong to me. You know, I don't. Yeah, you just swallow your coffee if you have any in your mouth. Okay. I try to never come across as cocky. But without sounding rude, it's a real beginner's mistake, Paul. Because it shows that you don't understand how a sword works if you do that. So I think your question is really good. It's something we can all practice, myself included. Okay.
Yep.
Is that helpful, Paul?
Super helpful. I noticed myself doing it on video and I thought, I don't even know where that came from, but
yeah,
I'll work on it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Any other questions before we get into Tatsuo Toshi?
Yes, sir. Actually, this will kind of maybe lead into a question that I was going to have later regarding Jodan Uke. How much are you planning on, if it was a live blade, having that sword stuck in your bow as you disengage into that next movement? So when we
Super awesome question. I'm glad you asked it. That would be a problem. If my block is like this, like I'm stepping right into Pete, like I'm punching him in the face, then we're gonna have a stiction issue for sure. But remember, this movement is specifically off to the side. So as I'm entering like this, I'm trying to connect more on the edge of the blade, not at the blade. The side of the blade, the side edge and the side of the blade. I'm not trying to intercept and block their sword. It's this movement. Like that. Okay? Is it going to whittle your stick? Yeah, probably. You also have to remember that the bow that we're talking about, we're not like white oak made in China. They were substantial hardwoods. So the short answer is you're receiving more to the side than straight on.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Go ahead, Greg.
You're on mute, Greg.
You're on mute, Greg. Okay. Type in the chat, Greg. Pete. Tatsu Otoshi. Onegaishimasu. So, how many of you guys are comfortable with this up to this point? No?
I have a question about the initial bow roll
Yeah.
as you throw it out, whether it's kind of one or two movements.
So
But other than that,
this
I
is
feel
always
pretty
the
good on that.
question coming in on your right. So this is always the question as I move, boom, as he deflects here, he's hitting my bow around. And is it like hit to drop and then strike the sword away? Or like that is what I mean. Like this is how I learned it in the Genbukan in the 90s for the first time. This is very, very particular. One, he hits my sword away. And this first, like very intentional throw that comes behind the back was meant to here, and then set up for that again. Right? I think that's cool. Manaka Sensei doesn't though. So I go with number 2. Was that your question?
Yes, I think mostly, but just to make sure clarification, use my Hondo, so I'm in tight. After the ski, they knock it away. You're throwing it out and then letting it come straight behind on the first movement. On the second movement, it looked like you let it drop to the outside of the shoulder and do another pass and then come behind. So it seemed like almost like there was one arc on the first hit and then 2 arcs around on the second one.
One movement. 2 movement. So not that.
Copy.
So I'm really coming in on his right shoulder from Ichino Kamae. I'm sorry, Chunan Kamae. And from here, I'm going to take 2 steps. I don't know if I did that. I can't recall if I taught this in the lesson, but it's 1, 2, and as I go into that second Yoko Aruki, my right hand comes back. And then here, like that. And then it's off this deflection, back and forward, back and forward, like that. Now, from here, the kakihiki that I wanted to talk about today is that Pete knows that the way Manaka Sensei has us do it in the Yondan test is at this point is to square off like this. So there's a hesitation. And then from here, then have him enter. So you're bringing this back with a high Huriyage, and then that. Okay? So there's this square off kind of positioning that I found interesting. But that's it.
The square off is after the first or the second.
So
Yeah.
here's why I call it a square off, because when Manaka Sensei was preparing me for my Yondan test, he actually had me do it in a parking lot of the old dojo. And my training partner would put pressure on me. And as I was here, he had me back up. Do you remember this? He had me back up so that I was right up against the curb. And he did that purposely. And he just said, now move to the side. So I'm like this, and then move to the other side. Then I'm like this. And then from here, it was strike. And then from here, square off, back. And then strike. Lift up high to invite. And then Horiage, strike.
Got it. Thanks, sir.
Okay. I'm not so sure if that was just the thing that Sensei was trying to bake into me. Did he do that with you? Was that a thing? The squaring off?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Maybe that's a Jin and Kan Yondan thing. I don't know, but let's just go ahead and train this and let's see where we go. Good. All right, bring it in. So, okay. So personally, I think that there is, like, what's with all the spinning? Like, why would you do this? I don't think Tanamura Sensei was wrong on how he taught it. This does make sense to me where, one, from here, and on the, I don't know if in the live class that I put up there as a bonus I explained, but also to cause this sort of startle in the opponent where, like, I'm throwing it, like, don't even move. So from here, he's done the block, and I'm coming in, boom, like that, to throw it right to the face inside that opening. So from here, he jumps back from this. And now I'm set up. And I'm waiting for his movement. And this next strike is going to be to the hands. Boom, like that. But he blocks and he pushes it this way. So here we are again, Jim, with that second spin. And I'm creating that distance. Like that. You see? And now from here, like that. So while Sensei doesn't teach it like that, this makes sense to me. This creating of this distance, this pushing him away, like kind of throwing the weapon at him to get him to move back and throwing the weapon at him to get him to move back. Okay, so that's how I think you guys, some considerations you should have with this when training it. But just in the beginning, just make sure that you practice the basics correct. Your kamae, moving, one. And you want to be able to get hands-on with this immediately. You don't want to have to go fishing for it. This should transition right to here. Tension on the back, strike. Tension on the back, strike. Pull back, throw the weapon, yokomenuchi. Okay, and this is where we should be for this gashiku. Sometimes I get a little excited and add more in, but just get that in, and I think we'll be happy. Okay, cool. Let's move on to what's next? Koku. Who'd like to demonstrate it? A couple of you guys did really well with this. We're getting warmer. We're getting warmer. Good work, Greg. Okay, let's break it down. There's some interesting points here that, because I have Pete here, we can go over some finer details. What's interesting here is that with Koku, is that my opponent is doing this upward nagashi with my thrust. So from here, as I come in, I'm coming in, so I'm pushing, And then from here, I thrust like this. And at this moment, he goes Jodan because he's setting up to come in and cut down at my head. As he cuts, I block. And then this block here, I'm shifting to the side. The weapon quickly comes around. Stay there, stay there. And my left foot, Greg, goes directly to the side as I strike. And then you can see how Pete's hips go out. And this creates the opening to the Benkei here, where I take the leg out like that. And these two are fast. Boom, boom. Quick. Okay? And that's it. So ski Jodan Uke almost immediately because he's hitting your weapon up and putting it in that position. That. Okay, so you're a little scripted now, but I need you to show, like, I gotta do. So from here, sorry, Mom. Like that. Okay. So the idea is to really first, in my opinion, without the two blocks at the end. No. So from here, one. This, we need to be here in this position. Now this leg goes to the side, and you see how Pete's body is? Like that. This is the outcome. Okay? So you get that torso heading forward and then bang, like a judo sweep, like an ashigari right into the ankle. Boom.
I have a question to say.
Yes, Melissa.
So when you do the dog, when I do actually, is there a movement on the body? Backwards or just in the same place?
Same thing.
Same place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's practice. As you think the technique through, it makes good sense, I think. Because so we're here, 1, 2, right? And I have this. Your next movement is going to be, right, look what happens to your feet. So as that happens, sorry. All right, so it makes good sense because after that block, you're going to be moving like this is open. You're going to be moving towards me. I was just discussing with Pete here that, let me uke for you, Pete, is, and again, this is just in this group, like our sort of exploration of this kata, not so much anything Sensei taught me. It makes sense. Because if you go to the next step beyond the kata, you see kind of into the mind of the author of the technique. Where you can see just this, maybe I should, let's go this way. So Pete's moving this way. And then from here, he goes like this. Now, my next movement after this block is going to be immediately like that. Now, he's moved out of the way. Look at this. Here. And he's got me in this position. This is very important to think, like, what's that next step? Guy's not going to be hanging like this. Bad guy's not going to stand still. So after the Jodan Uke on Pete's part, 1, 2, and then he takes the leg out. And that's it. So I think tactically, this makes beautiful sense. Do you guys see that? All right, let's go. Train it out a couple more reps. Okay, break, bring it in. I want to share with you something that I was thinking about when I was looking at everybody's work last night as it was coming in. And man, I just gotta I'm not going to say it's pride. I don't know if was there a word, Pete, that means proud for someone? Proud for. Proud for. Yeah, but no, it's like I really feel pretty good in my heart at the advancement that you got. Here's maybe what we should do. I'd like some of you guys who've done all of the Bojutsu Gashiku with me to go back to your first one on your app, go back to the first week live classes and watch your Bojutsu. And then watch your Bojutsu now on one of the live classes. And you're going to see an extraordinary difference, a really, really noticeable difference. And I don't want to put anybody down, and I'm not going to do that, but some of you didn't even know how to pick this thing up. Like literally didn't know how to hold it, didn't know how to move it. And now I'm watching, I'll go online, and nothing against some of the great Shihans or the Do Shihans or whatever and they just don't even hold a candle to you. And it's because of your basics, and your movement is phenomenal. It was really, really good to watch. Really good to watch. Greg, your movement has just, Max's extraordinary. Paul, extraordinary. Nick, I wish I could give you a sticker on the top of your paper, but I can't see you. Look, I'd like to see that garage a little bit more, man. I know how you move with the naginata pretty good, though. So, and Edgar, this is your first round, but your movement is really good, man. It's good to see this. And hey, it was awesome seeing you with your daughter. That's where it's at, brother. I'd like to see more of that stuff. Yeah, that was cool. But I just figured I'd tip my hat at you guys. I know sometimes I can be a little rough around the edges, but seeing students like Bill, just how he's gotten better, it's so cool to see. Do we have any questions on Koku? Fast technique, fast, and really tactically, just a good fighting technique. Not so much something that bakes in all these kihon, but something that's like just a fast whip crack of a technique. I think that's how I feel about it anyway. If there's no questions, let's move into the third kata for this week. Who'd like to demonstrate it and let me know what it is?
I do have a quick question. While
Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
checking their notes, giving them a chance. With the uke, I've had the experience of feeling the impact, stopping the impact, and then deliberately coming around with the strike versus the impact deflecting enough and then going into the do strike. Do you have a thought there other than from the perspective of what the kata is trying to teach versus looking at it from a combat perspective, if there's a difference there?
I know what you're saying, and
Yeah.
here's what comes to mind. Yeah, this is cool. Let's go into this a little bit because I'm moving fast here today. This is something I don't know if I know that Pete and I did this 2002-ish, 2003 in Baltimore with Manaka Sensei. He has no clue what I'm about to do. Pete, come on over. I can't remember 2002. I can't remember 2022. So from Takagi Oshino Shodan, there's the technique called Doga-Eshi. Doga-Eshi looks like this. So he strikes 1, 2, and then this, you sit back and you create this angle with this leg. Consider this your Jodan Uke, right? He's passed to the side. And then from here, I leverage and bring him around and finish. Sensei taught us what I think the principle that you're talking about, which is at the moment of contact, you let it ride and it's like that. That's what I think you're saying. And he taught this exact principle in Doga-Eshi. But watch my left leg here, where it comes in. It's in, the heel is under my perineum here, and it's at this point. Yeah. where it's as he's falling, the leg pulls in and it's all the ways around like that. So it's almost at that point of contact. At the point of contact, I pull the leg in. As he's falling, one more time here, not with much, but like, so as he's falling, boom, like that. And you can see where Pete's at. It's completely horrible for him. Rather than the version where, the basic version, where it's as he passes. Boom. Boom. Oh. And that's how it's like basically taught. But then there's this version like what you're talking, which is right at that point of contact. Wow. I haven't thought of that, but it makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah. Was that your question?
It's absolutely the question, because that's where the exploration seems to be for me when I'm looking at it. So
Yeah. I would like not to LARP on the technique too much, but I would kind of lean back into what Jim's question was about. Well, if I'm going up against an edged weapon here, aren't I going to bite into this a little bit? And that may be the case. It's not going to pass because it's going to bite here. And as it bites, I'm going to have to carry that weapon down and go into the strike, maybe. Yeah,
The goal isn't to stop the sword though, it's to pass the sword.
that's right.
So if the sword isn't in contact.
Yeah, the goal is to pass the sword. Yeah. Okay, cool. Good questions. Next technique, who wants to do it? I'm going to vote for Edgar because he leaned in to hit the pause button first. So let's see it, man. Okay, don't move, Edgar. Go back to your kamae. Good. I want you to notice your left wrist bent up in a fan hook like this. You want the small bones on the back of your hand to be in alignment with the forearm in your kamae and not like this, but like this. Sorry. Not like this. So just be aware of that. Yeah, but with the elbow in too. The compromise would be, well, if Adam wants that, then it means I got to put, no. It means soften up the hands and don't let this hand bend too much like that. Because it's a whole additional movement that you have to go to before you can get control of the weapon into your strike. Yeah. Cool. All right. Hey, Edgar, that was perfect, by the way. It's very good. What's the name of the technique?
Kastowicz.
Anybody else? Is he right or is he wrong?
It's a Noichi.
Casanova.
Kasanochi. This technique is very similar in timing to what, Melissa?
Sashay sensei?
That's correct. It's the exact timing as Sashi-ai. The difference is, Max, what's up? Coming in now. European time. Okay.
Daylight savings time got him again.
That's right. Yeah. So the difference is with Kasanouchi is this movement of forward and back, which is important. So, first movement is what? Edgar didn't show us, but what is it? Just say it. Anybody?
Do uchi.
Yeah, but how so?
Stepping forward and striking with the middle length of the bow.
Full on it. Full commitment. Leaping. Full commitment. Then from here, okay? Like that. And then finally, he's powerful. Like, watch what happens to Pete when I do this. Yeah! He got nowhere to go. You see that I'm trying to maybe exaggerate a little bit so you understand. Like I put him, I don't know if he went off camera, but he went right into the wall. But what it wasn't is this. It's not that. Okay? So, Edgar, let's see you do that again with a little bit more of that feeling? Go ahead. I love it. Good. Okay, Paul, can you demonstrate it, please? Yeah. Good. All right. So again, we see Sashi-ai as this, like I put in Ji-hoon's, hope I'm pronouncing his name right, but Ji-hoon, is it name Jim? Ji-hoon. I put in his notes, it's like a skipping stone. And every time I teach Sashi-ai, it's like you're at the pond with your grandpa and you guys are skipping stones. The Kamae feels like that. It's not so fast that you lose control of the weapon. It's fluid, it's brisk, but it's nonstop. There's no hesitation in the movement. And so you want to have kind of that same thing with Sashi-ai. It's bam, 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 that. This is the same. Seigan no Kamae. 1, 2, 3, like that. But your movements forward and back are very big. Where Sashi-ai is boom, 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 or boom, 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 or boom, 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 as I understand it. This one is your exchanging range. You're going back and forth. Sashi-ai doesn't have that, as far as I was taught. I mean, I suppose you could, but then it becomes Kasanovich with a ski. Yeah. So, okay. Are we good? Let's see it.
And
Let's
then
practice.
just a quick question as we're moving. The timing is sen-no-sen, so you're waiting as they're cutting down, you're stepping forward and hitting into do kind of as their sword is passing by.
That would make it go-no-sen if they've already initiated their cut. So fine line here, Jim. Sen-no-sen. So fine line is right there is sen-no-sen. The moment I saw tension in Pete's hands. However, this is go-no-sen. Again, this is sen-no-sen.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So I guess I had a different terminology set with Gono-sen being after their attack has completed kind of 1, 2, Sen-no-sen being simultaneous, and then Sen-no-sen being that moment of initiation. So so I just had a different
That's right.
terminology set, but
No, we're saying the
answer
same
my
thing.
question.
We're
Okay.
saying the same thing. Go-no-sen is in response to sen-no-sen is preemptive attack, and sen-no-sen is meeting at the exact moment. Like your intention is kami itoe.
Right. Thanks.
Your intentions are exact. However, your skill is better, so you're going to win.
Copy.
That's sen-no-sen. That's the real declaration of the badass, Jim. Most kata in our art is Gono-sen. There's one scroll that exists in our art that is entirely sen-no-sen. Extra credit to whoever can tell me what scroll that is.
Kotoryu?
That's a Vyuha, man. That's not a
I know.
scroll.
Is it the Shuden?
That's correct. That's what it is. Yeah. Way to go, Jeff. Good on you for the Toshindo guy. That's usually not your lane, not you personally, but very good, very good. Okay, let's go ahead and practice this, please.
Sensei,
Yes, Melissa.
the third scroll from Jin and Ryubi Kenjutsu also sen-no-sen.
Yeah, but they don't know that, Melissa.
Oh.
But I'll give you extra credit.
Thanks.
That's right. So in the Jinen Rubiken Jitsu, Manaka Sensei teaches in the Hinomaki, or the fire scroll, how to attack with a sword. Greg knew that, though. Good. Remember, we're looking for more distance on this. More distance. Really push yourself. Melissa and Ricardo, train together, please. I want to really see you guys pushing each other up and down the mat. Hasanouchi. More dough, Edgar. More dough, and punch the floor with that right hand. Really get in deep with this. A lot of you guys are striking a little high on that dough. You're falling into old bad habits. Make your dough as if you're striking to the opponent's hip bone. Personally, I think the technique is against it. I think Costa is against it. Well, Dan's kind of having a joke on, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But I think the second strike is important. So whether it's the first strike, so you go ahead and the second strike is to pull back to get out of range and take advantage of the bow leg, which is going to be here. It's advance. Yeah. That's what I think is going on here. And then you have to pull the hands up. Yeah. And then, oh, it's the third time I hit myself today. Jesus. 3 times. Did I split my head? So regardless, hop overhead or sig on, I think, one, and then pull back and get that. And then that. Yeah. Good. Watch that bend forward with the back, Edgar. Straight spine. Good. Let's close up with this. Come on in. I think with Kasanuchi, and I believe I talk about this on the live class as well. This is pretty common when I teach this, is fighting the hands. Now, this is something I'm always really big on with Bojitsu. The way to win with a bow is to get the 3-foot razor blade out of the guy's hands when you have a broomstick. Like, weapon-wise, he wins. So when it comes to stick fighting against blade, you're always fighting the hands. You're never, if he's in Seigan no Kamae, don't move, come forward. There's no such thing, in my opinion, as this. There is such a thing, certainly, as this. So I'd like you to consider, if he's in Seigan or Daijodan, it doesn't matter. The first movement is a powerful entry, and watch what Pete has to do. Because I'm not coming in to hit him, hold Seigan, I'm not necessarily coming in to hit him on his belly or on the lower torso for whatever reason, because Adam said to do that or some scroll said to do that. I'm coming in to strike at the like Nino Ude or the elbow part here above the elbow to like really injure that left the power center of the cut. So I'm coming in to strike his hands. But watch what Pete's going to naturally do. Yeah! Okay, now my next movement is going to be to take advantage of the bow leg. Don't move from this position. Let's change our angle so you can see. So you see how Pete's created this block here. He had to do that. So if I enter here, or if I enter here like that, that's fine. But even any of these, even if I make the strike, I'm in range of his cut. He doesn't have to move his feet. I'm in immediate range of his cut. So from this, he's down the block, still has sword. Next, don't move. From here, I pull that right foot back and I strike to the hands. So I'm using now the range of my weapon and I'm striking his hands. But Pete counters that by moving the hands out of there. Then I take that. And this is how we understand Kasanuichi. Fighting the hands. Okay. Does that make sense? Cool. All right, that wraps up today's lesson. We went through these 3 techniques. I know last week we spent a lot of time really going through Kihon because we all needed to kind of tighten up a little bit. And I think that was time well spent because everybody's technique looked really solid this week, or so far those who have put it up in the group. Let's wrap up with questions. Does anybody want to see anything again? Come on, guys. Don't be so easy. Max, good to see you.
About Koku, when Manaka Sensei does it, looks like he's kind of maybe like leaning back, like, whoa, got a block in a hurry. It seems like his momentum is kind of going backwards, and that's kind of maybe fueling the doichi afterwards.
Yeah. You're going to see another technique kind of like that. Here, where it's very much expressed. And you're talking about from the Jodan Uke, right? Yeah. So the feeling is like, sorry. The feeling is like you're taking an axe and swinging it to generate that power. And very much so on a coming technique where you're using this Jodan Uke to generate this lifting power, like of a sledgehammer or of an axe to do the cut. So your observation is correct. That's what you're referencing, right? Yeah, cool. Okay. Any other questions before we leave and we move on to the next 3 kata?
Not a question, sir, but a comment. I really appreciated spending a little bit more time on what the uke dynamic was and what the uke's intention were and how that fit in with the kata. I think we
today?
I think we spent a little bit more time on that today, and I really enjoy that stuff.
It really helps you to understand the technique more, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, thank him. He showed up, not me. I'm just...
Thank you, sir, off screen for coming in today.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Pete.
My pleasure. Any other questions? Cool.
Yeah, comment though.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Manaka Sensei's demo of Kasanuichi off YouTube on the list is actually Tatsuo Toshi.
Oh, is it? I screwed
Yeah,
up.
maybe.
Okay. Yeah. No, I probably did. I'll check that and tighten it up. Is he spinning the weapon around his back?
He says Tatsuo Toshi in the beginning.
Sensei does?
Yeah.
Oh, so Sensei got it wrong.
Well, I mean, he says Tatsuo Toshi, and the two don't match, and my brain just went, okay, let me not confuse it. So I stopped the video, but I may be wrong. I don't know if anybody else noticed it.
We'd have to check the Japanese. Maybe he said this is the technique after Tatsuo Toshi.
Okay.
I thought the technique he did was Tatsutoshi.
I'll find out right now. You said on Tatsuo Toshi, it's Koku, or on Koku, it's Tatsuo Toshi?
On the video that, the link that you have for Kasanuichi, the video with Manaka Sensei off YouTube is labeled Kasanuichi, but I think it's Tatsuo Toshi.
Yeah, I think Nick's right.
This is, it just said the next technique is Tatsuo Toshi. Yeah, it's my fault. Yeah. You know, isn't it so fun that like you have no idea, like what I just like you're around the man so long. Like I know like fluently, like he's one of my children. I understand what he's saying. I don't speak Japanese though. But it's like there's this whole nother thing called Budo Nihongo, which is like you just understand what your teacher's saying. You get it. And I like it's really cool. So I'll have that fixed this afternoon. Nick, thank you for pointing that out.
No problem.
Hasanuchi is up on YouTube. I just saw it. I just put the wrong embed code in. My
Thank you.
apologies.
And the other quick question was a while back, you did a progression for Tai Hinjitsu that was about getting the pelvic lift and getting the legs over and walking the legs over. And I don't think we recorded it, and I don't see it up anywhere. At least I'm not catching it because that's really helpful for me. So as a side note, I don't know if that's anywhere. You and I have similar things that we have to work through. So
This?
yes,
That?
yes, that progression.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've got a couple recordings of that.
All right. I appreciate it at some point. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Any other questions? Edgar, what do you like? Is that your dojo or are you a Bujinkan instructor?
Yeah, I guess so. Through IBDA. I also teach Danzan Ryu Jiu-Jitsu.
Danzan?
Yeah.
Cool.
So I just sublease that space for a night now from a karate guy.
What is IBDA?
Richard Van Donk's organization.
Are you a student of Richard's?
Indirectly, I guess. I got
Cool.
my rank from him, yeah.
Cool. One of the things I really respect about him is his commitment. Seems like he's been very committed to Hatsumi Sensei, even though a lot of people tend to talk smack about him. I haven't seen someone who is, and Nick would probably come in and backhand me, be like, "You have no idea what you're talking about. Be quiet." But but from what I've seen, he is a very, very committed student to Hatsumi Sensei, and hasn't gone off into his own thing or whatever. Maybe with his Bushindo or what did I see many years ago? Like,
Oh yeah. There's a whole esoteric thing that he does too.
yeah, but he doesn't. But it's not his Budo. It's like, and that's, yeah. Anyway, respect. He's always been kind to me over the years and has said nice things to me and has always been gentlemanly. So that's what I appreciate. He's always been a nice guy. Same with Steven. Wonderful. So cool. Well, good. So we got another instructor in here. I'm glad I know that. And is your daughter training?
Yeah.
Or it's not just like a punch dummy like Jim has. They just,
No,
pulls
mainly
family,
we've been. I
pulls
kind of.
family out of the kitchen and starts hitting him with sticks.
No, she trains once a week with me there.
Good. And where's your dojo?
In downtown Sanford.
Very cool. All right, good. Any other questions, guys?
I do have one, maybe not a question for the kata, but it's for Tatsu Utosh.
Yep.
It has been drilled into me that we always keep both hands on the bow to get more stability. So I was really astonished when you did the spins with one hand. And do you have any thoughts on that, or is it just that because if the katana comes forward, you are in danger of losing your weapon. So this really made me think a lot. That's why it looks a little sloppy by what I did.
Yeah. Did you come in during we were doing that technique or after we did that technique?
No, that's why I didn't get that. No.
Okay, because I talked quite a bit about that. So I will make it a point to get the recording of this class up ASAP so that you can see it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Excellent. All right, guys.